Welcome to episode.
That was quick. I was not ready for you to jump into it.
You weren't, were you? I was like, no. Bang!
Man, you're all business today.
I'm all about the Benjamins, bro. I don't even know what that means.
It's referring to Benjamin Franklin, who is on the $100 bill. That's also a saying that hasn't been said here since the late 90s. So
well, there you go. I'm fucking down with the kids. Is it trendy?
Down with the sickness.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Welcome one and all to episode 7 of Old Bollocks. Those who said that we would only get to 6, fuck you.
Yeah. We might even get to 8. You just watch out.
Hey, double figures, man. That's I think that'll be a special episode. We'll get all the guests on for that one.
The 10th anniversary special.
Yeah, 10th anniversary. Yeah. Wow, you've been going 10 years. No, this is our 10th podcast. Yeah, that'd be cool. I like that.
I'm glad you're keeping track though, because otherwise I wouldn't remember what number we were on. So
someone has to, man. Someone has to. Welcome all to another episode of Old Bollocks, where we will go through what we've been listening to, the new stuff that we're into, and then you guys via the social media have made suggestions of stuff that we should listen to, and we have been. So let's start at the very beginning.
Yeah, maybe we should mention that really early in the episode that we want suggestions, because I feel like we saved it for later. And in case you're tuning in and you're like, this is bullshit. No, there's something that you can do to help us out, and that's either if you're a Patreon of Howard, which you should be. You can put it in the comments on the Patreon page, but if not on YouTube here, put comments of albums you think we may not have heard that you think we should listen to and review and just obviously I just one per person, but also just think logically, like, is this something, like, don't say like, have you heard the 4th Slipknot album? Like, we probably have or don't want to, and so there you go. You don't just make sure they're fairly obscure. So we, or in the case of the 2 that we're doing today, really recent things. And then I just think we're just not on either one of our radars. And so there you go. I mean,
basically the ones that we've picked are 2022 releases.
One's 2021 and one's 2022, but fucking essentially, in the grand scheme of things, brand spanking new.
Yeah. So, but the main thing is, try and keep it at 1, and also a few episodes ago, it could be from 1996. That's absolutely fine, or it could be more recent, and especially if it's something where you like, it's this gem of an album that is like, and it's one that you have lots of love for, and you feel like it's
underappreciated.
Overlooked was the word I was going to use, but that pretty much the same thing. Yeah. So, let us have your albums and we'll review them.
Yeah. Cool. We'll get to that later. Right now,
Yes. And also hit us up, both of us, all over social media. We're not hard to find. So please do, send your suggestions via social media. That would be great. Thank you.
And normally on YouTube, if you just look down in the description, all of the fucking links are there, so you have no excuse. You just click on it. How easy are things these days? You just click things and things happen, and viruses happen, all sorts of stuff.
I mean, fucking hell, have you ever had to like write shit recently? I did. Anything other than my signature, and my hand starts aching.
I actually still do handwritten notes for a lot of the shows I do, and you should see how horrible it looks, because I'm writing really fast and I don't write any other time in my life. So I'm like a doctor. Like, you can't read anything unless you're me. You have no idea what it means.
But that's what I kind of feel like that's what handwriting has become. It's become something that only you need to understand, because why would you be fucking writing something for someone else?
Yeah, I don't know if this happens over in your neck of the woods, but over here there are people who are really annoyed at the fact that people don't write anymore, but there are also people who are annoyed that nobody wants to write cursive over here anymore, and people are just like, it's dying. There's no, their classes is dying from America. Nobody wants to write in cursive, and I'm like, nobody ever liked to write in cursive. What's the fucking point?
What is in cursive?
Do you know? Oh, you don't know what that is?
No.
It's when it's all like windy and connected and loopy and stuff. I don't know what it would be called. What else do you call it? Cursive?
We call that joined up writing because it's referred to for children. Can you do your joined up writing?
It's just like loopy stuff all looped together. It's fancy looking, and it's like, and it's stuff that,
you don't mean italics, do you? You don't mean
not italics
and shit. Yeah.
I bet if you look up cursive, I can't believe that this kind of divide exists where cursive isn't a word that's used over there. No,
I do. Don't take me not hearing of it for a whole country. Okay. It's just not. It's not a reference that I've ever heard before.
It's like how you would sign your name, signature kind of shit. That's the cursive, your signature. Cool. Which for me is now just a bunch of squiggly lines with a cross through it. So like, see, it's my name. There's a T obviously in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
At this point, I'd like to welcome handwriting experts to the podcast. I hope you're enjoying this.
Yeah. What do you prefer? Do you like calligraphy? Is that more your style?
or Caligula?
Okay, that's an interesting movie.
Yeah, ever so slightly. Yeah. Helen Mirren has never recovered.
Save that for movie Bollocks when you talk.
Yes,
about
definitely.
Calligraphy. Never mind. Yeah, let's start with new things. New things.
Right, new things. Right, let's have a look. What are you into at the moment? Because I don't know about you. Right, I literally just got this the other day, and this is like a half-assed review, but
it's like brand new.
Okay. Came out on Friday. Well, came out 2 days before we're recording this. So I've basically, and I've been doing a lot of driving, so I've been able to listen to it 3 times driving, which is not ideal, and once whilst running. So none of it's ideal, but it's really getting under my skin. And their last album didn't. So the band I'm talking about is Rammstein.
Oh,
you can't hide your disappointment.
This will be a one-sided review because they're a band that I just don't get the appeal of at all, and so there you go. You take it away.
Yeah, and I get that. They're not for everybody. They weren't for me for a very long time. But the new album, Zeit, Z-E-I-T. All I can say after 4 listens, like head and shoulders better than the previous album. Already there's a couple on there where I'm thinking, and I have to say I was deeply suspicious of it to begin with. I really did not listen to it critically, but kind of like, are they done? Should they have packed up? Are they just, is this just like, let's, is it a battle of the traits? Just make sure we've, do a song like that, do a song like that, do a song like that. Oh, there you go. You've got a Rammstein album, which is what I felt with the last album. This feels a lot more organic and a lot more like the Rammstein that I like. I didn't get into the previous album at all. So yeah, and already I can tell there's some bangers on there, and there's just some really cool stuff. So not a particularly in-depth great review, but by the same token, I think people are pretty much like ourselves here. You're either into Rammstein like myself, or you're not into Rammstein like yourself. And people who are into it aren't really going to give a shit whether I like it or not. They're just gonna buy it. And people who don't like it aren't really going to give a shit, and they're going to not buy it. So there you go. This was the best review ever, folks. This was fucking worth tuning in for.
Yeah. They're definitely something that I don't it doesn't seem awful to me. It just hasn't clicked with me. So I can't really say one way or the other because it just is what it is. But there you go. Brand new. I didn't think we'd touch on Rammstein or however you say it. I'm kind of one of those people. There's a video that I saw going around where it's two dudes talking to each other and it's like, oh, Rammstein, have you heard their song Du Hast? Have you heard their other song, Du Hast Remix?
That's really cruel. That's really cruel.
Well, I think for most people, that's what we know. Like they haven't had any other quote unquote hits on this side of the pond. It's like, they're a really big band, but that's the song that people know. It's, it's unfortunately.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Anyway, I'm gonna take it off by talking about I just said take it off. I'm not taking anything off. For those of you who are listening as a podcast, I'm fully clothed and I plan on staying that way. So you're welcome. And anyway, the one, I'm going to get this one out of the way because it's the only one I have a vinyl of, and I wanted to talk about this. The Kirk Hammett solo EP, which is called Portals, which there you go for the listeners. That was the sleeve I was tapping on, and this came out. It was like a record store day release, but it's also a wide release, so you could have gone and got it record store day over here, or you just order it through Metallica or wherever, worldwide, I think. And I obviously was interested because anybody knows I'm a huge Metallica fan, and so Kirk's doing something, I'm gonna get it. And the first time I listened to it, the day it came out, I'm like, this is a little bit different than I expected, because for some reason I thought Kirk Hammett solo album, and I just thought it was going to be bluesy guitar for 20 minutes. I don't know why I thought that. But it's not that at all. It's very cinematic and epic, and it really does. Cinematic's the best way to put it. It sounds like a soundtrack to something, and I liked it the first time around, but I've listened to it a couple more times, and it's a real grower. Like it's like and to be fair, it is the kind of thing that if anybody else had made it, I probably wouldn't have even listened to it. So let's keep that in mind. But that aside,
well said.
That honesty aside, I do really enjoy it. And it does have parts that I'm like, it's weird that there's an instrumental EP like this where there are parts that are catchy to me and stick in my head. And I come back and listen again and I go, oh, it's that part. That part's very memorable. And so really kudos to Kirk for putting out something that I didn't just listen to once and then shelve away in my collection. So, I mean, that's the best way I can put it. That's the best way I can put it. Did you get a chance to listen to it?
Well, firstly, it is a soundtrack. It's a soundtrack to one man's ego.
Isn't that any solo
that's
album?
All solo albums. Yeah, that is all solo albums. If you're watching Kirk, I'm not picking on you. What I suffer from here is enthusiasm for anyone's solo album.
Gotcha.
Because it's like I love the band you're in, and then you do a solo album and I listen to it and I go, yeah, that's why you're in a band, mate. That's why you're in a band.
It actually makes me more interested in like. Because I know we've talked about this a lot, but you didn't really think Hardwired to Self-Destruct was that great. And comparatively speaking, I don't like it as much as most of their albums. And the big thing about that one was when Kirk Hammett lost all of the riffs that he was working on. And so there's no input from him whatsoever in that album. And I'm thinking, is that part of it? Does he actually play a bigger role than we even think in making the songs a little bit more interesting? So now I'm just like, because hearing this on his own, I'm like, this is more interesting than that last Metallica album, which I liked. But so it makes me really like think about like I think they need to give him a little bit more time to shine. Than they do.
Yeah. Or alternatively, the kind of stuff he's coming up with, they just don't feel is right for the band, and that's why and that's why you've got this a stockpile of a solo album.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I'll be completely honest. I haven't listened to 1 second of it. I have got it. It is, and I will get to it.
Yeah.
But I'm suffering from a lack of enthusiasm at the moment.
That's probably a good one to drive or run to, because it's not.
Right.
It's more of
it's instrumental.
It's longer songs and it's got like a mood going on in it. And it may help motivate your running, like you're running from somebody or somebody.
Do you know what? I might just use that as an excuse to listen to it. And
there you go.
And next time I go out on a run, I will which will be after this actually. So I may well give Kirk the benefit of a listen. But yeah, nothing here. But what I do have, it's a bit of a weird one for me, because I'm gonna say, well, some people call this band metalcore, and I am not a big fan of metalcore. But the band is Beartooth, and the album is the new album Below. And there's something about the album. It's just got fucking huge riffs.
It sounds like when you said the album title, it sounds like you said blow.
Oh, right.
And
Okay.
That's what this album does.
Oh, fine.
I only listened to it because you mentioned it, and I'm like, oh, Beartooth, what do they sound like? But you go first.
Yeah, no, fine. I mean, basically, and the thing is, right, I know metalcore's out there and I don't like it. And my big problem is always the vocals, because there seems to be a competition as to who can be gruffest during the verse and who can be, the most soprano in the chorus. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't work. And for me, for a start, this starts working because the two voices are quite close together.
Are there two different vocalists in the band, or is it one guy doing different times? Because some of the voices actually sound different when they're singing in this, and so I do think there's another vocalist dipping in and out here and there. Yeah, but I love the gruff vocals. It reminds me of Jamie Lenman, who used to sing in Foo Fighters. Fucking hell, the UK Foo Fighters, Ruben. And I love Ruben, and some of his vocals remind me of that. So again, I'm naturally kind of leaning towards, this is interesting. I think there's some just massive riffs in it. There is some great choruses. There's some massive gay choruses in it as well. And I use that in the positive, please don't cancel me aspect of the word gay, as in big, gay, and happy. It's like the dictionary definition originally of the word gay.
Yes,
joyful.
Yeah, exactly. So and some of it is too much, and there are 2 or 3 songs on the album that I literally have deleted that I never want to hear again. Yeah. But for some reason there are some songs in there which, again, when I hear, I'm like, this is just, it's a bit more left of center than most metalcore I've heard. But then again, I don't listen to a lot of metalcore, so maybe I'm wrong. But there's just, I don't know, proof that I can be open-minded. I like a metalcore album. It came out of nowhere. I saw the cover, listened to it, and thought, this is all right. And I'm still digging it. So there you go.
And it's proof that I can be a right bastard listening to some stuff, because I listened to this, and do you over there, is there a store in the mall called Hot Topic? Does that exist over there?
No.
So
no. But I get where you're coming from, though. It's like where all the mall rats go down to Hot Topic and it's buy like
teenage
metalcore.
Goth metal people who are into anime a lot and then listen to some music. This is like the soundtrack to those people, and it just sounds like it should be played at the some sort of extreme sports festival where people are doing BMX tricks. And then this is being played, and I go listen to, or I go look up the band, and they're on fucking Red Bull Records. I shit you not. The drink Red Bull. This is literally just the most like extreme teenage kind of thing. Although they're not teenagers, they are dudes that seem like they probably still sit outside high schools looking at teenage girls, but they're too old for that. And it's just the thing about this album that got me. And here, I'm not a metalcore fan, so there's probably somebody out there that says you don't get the intricacies, whatever the fucking word is, the little parts. You don't get the differences here and there, and I don't really care about that. The problem is, and we'll talk about this later when we talk about other newer things. Modern metal in general, there's too much grabbing from everywhere, trying to please way too many people all at the same time. And this one, really seems like they're like, well, look, we want to please these metal fans, but we also want people who listen to pop music also to really like us. And it sounds really desperate in their attempts at grasping at these things. But everything's performed perfectly well. I'm not really a big fan of the production. A lot of modern production is way too compressed. It makes it uncomfortable to listen to. But really, like the whole thing. Okay, to give anybody a break, you don't need to go listen to the album if this turns you off. Every single song. Here's my impression of every single song. It's so hard being a middle class white guy. Like that is every song. It's there some sort of struggle of the middle class white person in America. That is this album, and I could not get past it. And I felt that thing where I go, come on, Steven, be a little bit more. No. And like every single thing that would happen, I'd go, nope, not in my backyard.
Well, look, dude, I mean, that's absolutely fair enough. And you've made some good points there. And some of it I can agree with. And some of it proves you've only listened to the album once.
That's true. I have only listened to the album. I barely got through it one time.
Yeah, you really fucking hated it off the bat. Do you know what? Let's not go dig any further into that, because ultimately but I do agree that what you were saying about borrowing from all the players and trying to please all the people all the time, for me, that's what that production is trying to do. That production is trying to be hard and in your face, but not too hard and not too in your face. And the weird thing is as well, it's especially for metal, and what I find one of the most disappointing aspects of the album is I played it on a big stereo and I was like, oh. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm literally stood right next to the speaker cones going, why aren't these going in and out? Oh, is it because there's a fucking massive lack of serious bottom end?
Yeah.
Are we just like pummeling? It's basically it's like an earbuds mix. But having said that, I'm not going to make me slag off an album I like. I like it.
Hey, there you go. Just in case anyone from Beartooth is watching, the tables have turned. Usually it's Howard pissing people off, but today it's going to be me.
Hey, Beartooth, I don't like metalcore, but I like you.
I have to honestly. The thing everyone needs to keep in mind with me is that if you literally chopped metal down, if you like literally erased my memory to where the only metal that I knew was from 2000 until now, and then you came to me and said, "Are you a metal fan?" I'd be like, "No, not really." Because there's very little that's happened in this century that really gets me excited. There are some great things, but it's just the ratio is like way off. And so anyway, so
what being next?
I'm gonna get this one out of the way because you're not gonna give a shit about this, but I got to talk about it. And I don't have the vinyl yet, so you'll see like a little image of the album because it's on pre-order.
Unless, of course, you're listening to the brilliant podcast, in which case you won't see anything unless you just
shut your fucking Google it.
Yeah, shut your eyes and imagine.
Imagine a world where you can see things. Oh, that's on YouTube. Anyway, no, please stay here. The new EP from Primus, which is called Conspiranoid.
Can I just say, absolute tons of love for Primus. I had on vinyl, You Suck on Prawn Song Records, on the original release, imported from the States, the original release on their self-financed label. That Frizzle Fry, Sailing the Seas of Cheese, just start, and then and after Pork Soda, I was pretty much out. And I tried again. What's the thing they released before this latest thing?
Oh, the Something 7. It was a concept album.
And I
Saturated 7 or something like that.
Yes, and I read a lot about that. Read really good things about that. Listened to it and could barely get it. In fact, I don't think I made it through it. I was just like, this is just fucking no. It's just not for me.
So on that note, I wasn't a really big fan of that either, or the thing they did before that, which was they did like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory reimagining album. And the weird thing about that is that everything up to then has things I really like about it, but around the time of that Chocolate Factory thing, the classic lineup of Primus got back together, and they're still together now. But this is the first thing they've put out where I'm like, all right, this stands up with what you were doing back in the day. I don't think it stands up with Frizzle Fry or even Sailing the Seas of Cheese, but it's close. It's in that area. The thing that's cool about it, it's almost I guess it's a concept EP, but the concept is kind of a fuck off to conspiracy theorists. Like that's the whole thing. It's every song has something to do with dumb people following dumb shit on the internet. Like that's brilliant. What it's about. I like that. Which is funny because I feel like a lot of their audience is probably those people. So and you do see on their social media that some people are mad that why do you have to bring politics into this and stuff? And I'm like, because this is what's going on, especially in our country right now. Like,
and the funny thing is when people say things like, why did you have to bring politics into this? Yeah, what you meant to say was, why did you have to bring politics, which I don't agree with, into this?
Absolutely. And so the thing I like about this album is it's the first part is an 11-minute song, the longest song they've ever written. And it's interesting because I don't know if you know this, but right now Primus is doing this tour where they cover A Farewell to Kings by Rush from beginning to end. Half of the set is that, the other half is them doing like Primus songs. And there's a little bit of this song where I go, oh, that Rush shit is like rubbed off a little bit on them because there's some Rush-ish type parts.
Right.
And it's interesting because it goes from being kind of psychedelic to kind of funky and weird, but it's got this vibe. Occasionally there are songs, a lot of times it's like hip hop, but there's sometimes other kinds of music where there's a mood and a groove created where I'm just like, this song could have been 20 minutes long and I would have been fine. Because you just fall into that groove of like, this feels good. And that song is like that. And the lyrics are clever. And then the rest of it's, kind of like that, where it's like, it's Primacy, a little bit proggy, but never boring. Like this, and I like, and honestly, I guess for anybody that fell off of the Primus train, this might be a good part to get back on because you're literally dealing with 3 tracks, like 20 minutes or so of music. And you can just, dip your tone and be like, do I want to hear this again? Oh, no, or whatever,
Yeah.
But,
well, in which case, then, Mr. Old Head, can you sell me a ticket for the train that is Primus that, so I can jump on it before it leaves the station? Because who knows? I got off it quite a few years ago. Yeah. And as you said, now may be the time to get back on.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to take much of your time, but yeah, I'll definitely get you to
get me a ticket,
get on the train.
Yeah,
but yeah, I really like it, and it makes me happy for like those 3 old school guys to still be making some stuff that
big time
tickles my fancy in the same way that it used to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What else do you have to talk about? I only have one more that I wanted to talk about.
Well, if the one more you've got to talk about is one that I have as well,
probably does it involve a fighter of Foo?
No, it doesn't. It's a brand new band. It's a brand new band.
Oh, okay.
It is a debut album. The band's called Dream Widow.
You fooled me, sir.
Of course, Dream Widow is a one-off album that's been made by Dave Grohl. You've probably got a lot more notes on this. All I know is that it's Dave. And also, what I do know about this as well is, boy, has Dave gone out of his way to perfect some vocal impressions on this album.
Well, it's interesting because on the one side of things, I haven't seen the Foo Fighters movie that this is kind of related to, and you have.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. Like, you created, I guess there's a fake band in the movie, and like these are the songs from that band, which would essentially be
No, there's not a fake band in the movie. The band is the Foo Fighters. They're writing a new album.
And they're making a metal album in the movie, or is
no, but because I don't want to give too much away about the movie, but because he gets possessed, it gets really heavy. So there you go.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
But I have to say, I enjoyed the movie, but the album's better. The album's better than the movie.
The album is really fun. Like that's the one thing I can say is that
great show.
It's really the only arguments I would have are probably things that are intentional, where sometimes parts of it feel a little bit like metal created by algorithm, where it's like, these are all the right aspects of things to put together in this mathematical equation that equals this kind of metal song. And I guess the reason why it comes across really enjoyable is that Dave is, for people that know, a metal fan. And he did that Probot album like years ago with all the other metal vocalists and whatnot. But even prior to that, like he's talked about it a lot, that he was into metal like early on in his younger years. And it shows, because this really is kind of like I think you said something like it's like a mixtape of metal.
It's like a compilation album.
Yeah.
It's literally like, because you could have like a 1.5 minute complete hardcore thrasher, followed by a 5.5 minute melodic stoner tune.
Yeah.
Followed by a 4-minute classic metal top 20, catchy tune.
Yeah.
And it's just all there. And I have to say, it's a real reach, but seriously, if you are listening to this, grab a listen to the album. There will be at least one song on there for everyone. Everyone listening to this, there is a song on that album for you. Now, if you can be bothered to go find it, that's entirely up to you. I'm just saying that and like you, I find myself, especially the first time I listen to it, which is an absolute trip, because you're hearing these things for the first time and you're going from like hardcore tune to metal mid-tempo to something. And I was just like, I walked along smiling. Yeah. And every time a song started, I was like, oh yeah, this is good. And you just kind of have that little smile to yourself. And it's like, yeah, Dave Grohl. He's one of the cool guys. Yeah. He's one of our cool guys. He's mainstream. Yeah. Everybody knows who he is. But what they don't know is really he's ours, and I like that.
And it just adds to this confusing relationship that I have with Dave Grohl, because I'm not a huge Foo Fighters fan. There's a lot of stuff they do that I just go, this is fine. But like they're one of those bands that the things I know about the people in the band, and just following the band since they started, because I was and am a massive Nirvana fan. So that I came into it from that. But so I've never really not followed what Dave was doing. But so along the way, like, it's just one of those things where I'm always like, God, yeah, it is like they say, everyone says, oh, Dave's like the coolest guy in music. I'm like, well, it really does seem that way. And and so when something like this comes out, it makes me even more go, oh man, I wish I could just go back and really like support everything the Foo Fighters have done. But every time I try, I hit a point where I go, this is just okay. And so it's an interesting relationship, but
I completely agree. Sometimes Dave is a hard person to love, based on another Foo Fighters album with one iconic song on it and 10 fillers. Yeah. And for me, what the Foo Fighters, Power and the Shape, first album.
Oh no! So for the first one is just called Foo Fighters. Second one is Color and the Shape.
Color and the Shape. Sorry, second album, Color and the Shape. Now that's got some tunes on it.
Yeah,
and I like that. Monkey Wrench and My Hero and Hero and stuff like that. But then I've heard nothing after that other than All My Life. And
you've heard The Best of You. I'm guarantee you've heard that.
Oh yeah, sorry, yes, I have heard that. Yeah, but basically, for a while there, Foo Fighters were like the new U2. Like they'd come out with a single that is just so impossibly good, no matter how much you might not have ever liked any of the stuff, or actually not even like them. Yeah. It is so good that you go, wow, and then the rest of the album is just not up to standard.
Yeah.
And I've been following Dave Grohl and everything he's been doing since 1986, when I bumped into Dave playing drums for a band called Scream.
Wow.
Which was his first ever band, proper band, and he got to get in a van and go on tour. And I had a chat with him after the gig. And we ended up having a chat about Felix from DRI, because me and my mate were like, do you know Felix? He was like, yeah, I know Felix. He was like, we both thought, like, you know, you look a bit like Felix when you play. And he was like, oh, dude, that's a real compliment. I love Felix. But even then, he
told me a lot of great stories, but this might be my favorite one you've ever told me. For personally speaking, this is is like very cool.
Oh, cool. Well, he was we were just hanging around after the gig, and so we were saying like, wow, you know, I really enjoyed your drumming, and because even then he was the young. I mean, most of the band were in their 30s. Now I would have been 16 at the time, so twice my age. So in other words, you know, old people. So who's this young guy that I can vibe with? I can get behind this guy. And also watching his drumming, like me and my mate were like, he's in the wrong band.
Yeah.
This guy needs to be like let loose in the wild, you know. Yeah. He's playing these kind of like fairly like, you know, great songs. I love Scream, but it was fairly low key by that point in their career. But it was clearly something that he was just getting a feel for, and it was his first ever European tour. It was his first time in Europe, so we were talking to him about that as well, and he was really excited about it all. And we bonded over a mutual sense of humor over the fact that on the tour dates on the back of the T-shirt, it was like it listed all the countries, and then finally at the bottom it just went "fuck Sweden, it's too far."
Nice.
So yeah, it's it's a bit of a tangent there.
That's all right. That's great. That's like that's one of those things that, like, you know, I don't know why that just hits me as so cool. Like, you know, just I guess it's because Dave Grohl has been, when I started playing in bands in the mid 90s, he had set the standard for what I was looking for in a drummer, because I didn't want a Neil Peart or somebody like that in my bands. Yeah. I wanted somebody that smashed the fuck out of the drums.
Hold it down, keep it real.
But also you can, even though he's not doing anything fancy, you can't take your eyes off him. Like he's that kind of drummer. So he set the standard of like what I was always looking for. Never really found that, but you know, it's you know, he's kind of one of a kind when it comes to the exactly what he is as a drummer. So that's really cool.
Well, and I was so surprised, because it was like, you know, he goes and joins Nirvana, and I'm like, oh, my mate Dave's in Nirvana.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because, like, you know, I spoke to him once. We're friends. And yeah, you know, and I went to see, you know, Nirvana on the Nevermind tour when Dave was drumming for him, and they were awful. But,
I wonder if that was the one that, because there's a famous UK tour they went on before Nevermind broke big, like it had come out. And they immediately went to England, I think. And
that was that tour.
Playing clubs. That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw him at a university with about 400 people in it. And they were supported by Captain America and Shonen Knife. Captain America were all right. Shonen Knife were horrific. And then Nirvana didn't, and after Shonen Knife, Nirvana didn't come on for about an hour and a half after Shonen Knife came on, probably about midnight or half, and everyone was getting pissed off. And yeah, just lackluster and a bit shit. And that was that. Anyway, fuck it.
That we don't have to get on. Don't get me on a Nirvana tangent. We'll go on.
There you go. Have you seen The Batman yet?
No, I probably won't. Because I'm not into. First off, I don't really give a shit about comic book movies anymore. But also, if I go, because the movie is literally, because I have HBO Max over here, it's right there for me to watch. My wife and I were looking for stuff to watch and went to it, and I went, "This motherfucker's 3 hours long," and we both go, "Fuck that."
In all seriousness, it's worth a watch.
Okay.
Purely for how they've crafted a classic Nirvana song into the soundtrack, but also they've taken the chord progression and used it as a basis for a theme in the soundtrack.
Wow, that's actually really cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think you may have sold me on trying it out because I have seen. Well, no, I haven't seen the more recent Batman movies. I've seen everything through the Chris Nolan ones. I saw all of those, and I haven't seen any of the newer ones.
Well, this is a very different take to Christopher Nolan. I love the Nolan movies, and I like this one as well. Not for the same reasons, but there's different things. It's a genuine kind of reimagining of it, and it feels a bit more real. And the Nirvana song they'd gone for, I completely forgotten even existed. And when it came on, I was just like, oh, right.
Oh, all right.
That's good. That's really good.
That's fascinating. I'm gonna make sure that when this episode comes out, my wife's watching this with me. I'm gonna be like, hey, you hear that? We should watch this Batman movie just so I can nerd out about the Nirvana song.
if you're not enjoying it, once it's finished, fuck it off. But the thing is that with the first time you hear it, you go, oh yeah, that's really cool, that's awesome. And then later on, the major chords, the melody, whatever, it's kind of reworked, put into the soundtrack, and you're like, yeah, right.
That part's fascinating to me. That'll keep me on board with the movie probably. So
to the extent most people won't recognize it at all. It's just. I'm sure I will. Yes, yeah, I'm sure you will. But
cool.
So there you go. We've ended up talking about Nirvana from
Nirvana and a movie review on there. But yeah, Dream Widow, fun. Go check it out. What else to say?
That's all it needs saying.
Yeah. So I guess that brings us. Do you have anything else? Is that the last one for you?
I think that's the last one for me. After that, it's all about the recommendations from our lovely listeners.
Yeah. So I guess at this point we'll interject. We'll take you guys in a time machine to the past. Maybe I'll put I'm going to put an old timey filter on the video.
Waves.
Whatever I can. I'm limited to whatever's on the program I'm using, but something to make it look old timey, maybe.
Well, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just audio. So here's the bit of us talking about what we're going to choose, and who sent them in. And then the next time you see us or hear us like this, it will be to review the things, because that was a while ago. So you have the list.
Yes.
So it's been sent in by you, good listeners, good viewers. Thank you very much for all your suggestions. And my apologies to the person who sent me some stuff through and said, here are these, and I can't find them. I don't know what I've done with your message. Don't know what I've done with your message, mate, but I'm sorry. Let's move on with this week's selection of fucking shit.
All right.
No, that's a joke.
We got five albums here. So from Stefan Blaine over on the Old Head Facebook group, he suggested.
I know Stefan, actually. He's a member of the Acid Rain group as well. So
cool. The band Deficiency with the album Warrenta from this year, from 2022. So brand new, but not on my radar. So I never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
He says they're from France, and this is a concept album about a mining town in the 1940s and curses, legends, and superstitions of those times. Thrash metal mixed with some modern influences and melodic vocals. Bjorn Strid from Soilwork appears on a track. Now, that last sentence means literally fuck all to me, because I don't really know Soilwork.
Right. Okay. Well, or Talking Bollocks, because he was one of the very first interviews.
I guess I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, you're a patron. Go back into the archives. He's a lovely guy. He's a great singer. I like Soilwork. I like his voice, and also cool. the fact that he's on there to me means that there's an established cred. He's not going to go and guest on something that's shit.
Okay. So, I mean, they're a name I know. So
Well, right. So straight away, I am already leaning to that. So everything from here on out is going to have to try and knock that off its perch.
Okay, and that's got the most fleshed out description for us. Although the other ones have a little bit. So Beer Maniac 31.
I was just going to say concept album about a mining village in France in the 30s and 40s. I mean, at that point, I was like, well, this is dull as fuck.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and legends and right, okay, right. Now we're talking. Right, okay, get on board with that.
I'm holding judgment for hearing the actual tunes. I could give a fuck what the concept is as long as the songs are good.
Spooky Peaky Blinders, Spooky Blinders. If you will.
There we go. Beer Maniac 31 over on YouTube.
Good band.
Suggested Death Decline with their album The Silent Path from 2021. He says it's a thrash/death band if you like old Machine Head.
Right. That's so right. I see where. So is he saying that it's thrash and death mixed with Machine Head?
Yeah. He says it's got.
If Machine Head were a thrash death band, this is what they'd sound like.
Sure. I guess so. My notes here are truncated from what they actually wrote, but that's it's just because I'm lazy. So there's that one, and then stuff. from Jens Bauman on YouTube, he suggested the band Rostock Vampires with the album Misery from 1990. So we're going all the way back to 1990, and he says this is a German hardcore punk band. They formed around 86, and they were around until about 93. And it says very energetic with a Bad Brains vibe in the vocals.
I've got right, two things. Firstly, I think I remembered the name for a reason, and your description thinks, I think I've heard them. Okay. And secondly, vocals are possibly the thing that puts me off Bad Brains. So,
oh really? Okay.
Yeah. That was really promising up to that point, but never mind.
Okay. This one, he's double dipping here, but Diarmuid McNally, who's I'm bad with pronouncing names.
Hang on. What do you mean double dipping? Wasn't he the last time?
Yeah.
All right. I thought you meant like he's having two guesses this time.
No, like he suggested last time. He's throwing his hat in the ring this time, which is fine.
Okay. Because McNally. It's McNally. He's back. McNally's back.
The band is the Marked Men, and the album is Ghosts from 2009. This says garage pop punk with a lot more going on. So that's
that's Billy Talently there, maybe. Yeah, that's
okay. And we all know how I feel about them. So although funny enough, since we last met, I realized that my 11-year-old daughter is a fan of them. She likes some of their stuff. So I'm starting to hear it in the car now, and on the way to school, and I go, all right, this is pretty good, I guess.
Clearly heard it through Daddy's wall, and that's why she started playing it.
Maybe so. I don't know.
Hang on. Isn't it a bit weird that all of a sudden your daughter's a Billy Talent fan? You don't think the two could be linked, maybe, that you've been playing some? I
don't think so at all, because our walls aren't connected, and she doesn't give a fuck about what I listen to. She's 11, so she's going through Spotify and the things that are suggested for whatever she likes. So I'm assuming she was led there probably through Green Day and on and on and on and on, and then eventually it gets to them. I don't know. Either way.
All right.
Last but not least,
I
didn't write down who suggested this, so I apologize to whoever suggested this. The band is Ayreon, Ayreon. The album is Ayreon. The album is The Source from 2017. The description is:
have they got the source?
Progressive metal / rock opera from Dutch musician Arjen Anthony Lucassen, and he's been doing shit since 1995. He has like tons of albums. It's like a one-man guy project where I guess he gets a bunch of other musicians and shit, and he does a prog metal rock opera. So that's what we've got to work with here. I'm on board with going with the one. Do we want to choose one or two? Because we did two last time.
Well, what I was going to suggest actually was maybe you do one and I do one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and because I'm a Soilwork fan, that pretty much rang my bell straight out the gate there. So
okay. And I'm down with that. I'm down for, maybe it'll lead me to like learning about Soilwork as well.
No. You've got to pick one for you now. I've picked.
No. I mean, I'm going to pick mine now. I'm on board with your choice also.
Right. Okay. Cool. Got you.
I would probably have gone towards that one anyway. I think out of all of these, so we've got thrash. I'm after last time, I'm really sort of shying away from anything that says prog because I have a feeling I won't like it.
There does sound to be that sounds like one man's collective vision, but I would like to also say it also sounds like one man's collective jism.
Use that in your act. That is amazing.
And that is why I would not be listening to that. No offense, dude. I'm sure you're a fucking genius, and I'm just an idiot.
I didn't write down their name, so I don't. Okay. Whoever they are, the nameless one. I really think out of these four, the one that's standing out at all is this Death Decline.
Machine Head.
Yeah, it's 2021, and it's thrash and death metal. And if you like old Machine Head, which honestly, I'm not really big on any Machine Head, but that doesn't matter. That's not gonna.
Of all the Machine Heads there are, it is the old one that is preferable.
I guess so. The only album I think I've heard all the way through is The Blackening. Is that what it's called? The Blackening or something like that?
Yeah. Now, you see, that I checked out with that because I just felt it was bloated and just, it was all about isn't it incredible? There's like 11-minute songs and 30-minute songs. It's like, no, it's not incredible. It's boring. So I checked out on The Blackening, which is weird because it was a huge album for him, yeah. But I was in up to that point. I mean, I hung on with my bare fingernails through The Burning Red and most of Supercharger, but there are some great songs on there. I've held on with them there. Like I said, and I say this every time the name comes up, Machine Head are owed a debt. Every single thrash metal musician that is currently making a living or touring or putting records out owes Machine Head a debt of gratitude. You owe them that because they reinvigorated everything. No one was doing what Machine Head were doing when they came back, when they first came on the scene, and they blew the fuck up because they took that Pantera vibe but made it thrashier.
Okay.
And opened the door for everyone to start coming back. And, I honestly, I really do feel like, it's not a very popular thing to say nice things about Rob Flynn. But, whatever you say about the dude, he's owed a massive fucking sandwich by thrash metal. That's for sure.
Cool. Well, I mean, in that case, not even a Machine Head album, but I'm going to choose the Death Decline album, The Silent Path, and we'll see.
That sounds cool, man.
See how that works out. So
what have I chosen?
Stefan Blaine with Deficiency Warrenta from 2022. So
thank you, Stefan. Which is we're friends on Facebook. I mean, it's like I know I do know Stefan. So he's. Do you know what? I'll look in my messages, and he probably sent it to me, earlier in the year or whatever. But yeah, I'm up for that.
All right. Well, then I guess at this point we go and check these out, and then we cut. Next time you see us in like a second, our lives will be changed forever.
Well, now you see, will it be in a second? Because you see, I'm betting probably not. I missed out on seeing Igor on Saturday, which I was gutted about. Igor, IGGO.
It's a band.
I've played some stuff on Radio Bollocks. It's the really weird shit.
I think now that you're mentioning it, now that I'm seeing the name in my head, and I think, okay, I think I've heard that.
Yeah,
I don't know much about them.
Like utterly insane. It's pretty much it's one man's jism, one man's collective jism.
Yeah.
And I missed it on Saturday, and it was my birthday as well. But that's why I missed it, because I was other end of the country. But I guest listed everything. I was like, oh no,
man! I missed the fucking Testament Death Angel Exodus show that came through my town last night. Well, it's just because like I have a family, and it's really hard logistically for me to get out, and then I'm not the kind of person that's like, well, fuck the wife and I'm just going to go out on my own. So I really don't do that very often. And so that rolled around, and I had to make a choice about whether or not I was going to go to Sepultura and Sacred Reich or that. And I chose Sepultura and Sacred Reich. I went to that one.
Right. How was that?
That was good. Sacred Reich were amazing. Sepultura, I didn't stay for the whole set, but when they played the newer shit, they were fucking great. I didn't like it when they played Max era songs. For some reason, they didn't sound right to me. Probably because there's only one guitar player, and I like Derek Green's vocals, but some of those Max songs are they're so iconic to me, and I've lived with them for such a long time that when I hear them, like it just didn't really do it for me. But man, they played the shit off Quadra when they played it. It was very good. But
next level shit. Did you see them with Roy before he broke his leg?
Oh yeah. He was still not Roy. Eloy.
Eloy, that's the one. Sorry.
But he broke his leg like I think like a couple days later. So I got to see that with him.
Phew, hey?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Which was funny that it was literally the sweet spot because Phil Rind had COVID or something and was in the hospital.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Got out of the hospital, and I saw them, and then a few days later, Eloy breaks his leg. So I was like, "That I got right in time." But anyway,
you got through a very small window.
I did, but yeah. So I don't go to shows very often, but you know, now that things have become relatively back to normal with COVID, I'll probably go to more when they come through. But yeah, it took a little while for me to get up the energy and courage and nerve to just like go out and be around a shitload of people. So,
and totally understandable, mate. But you mentioned Sepultura there, and am I right in thinking you've been ranking Sepultura in your Crank to Rank podcast with one Mr. Eddie Sparks?
We did a two-parter. So I don't know if you've heard it. Obviously you haven't heard it, but if you just listen to the second episode and you'll hear our top picks.
Right. I was going to say, because the thing is though, I'm guessing here that one Sepultura album with Derek Green on it is in the top 5, and the others are basically Chaos AD, Beneath the Remains, Roots. I don't want to ruin. Am I ruining your podcast?
Right. You're right, but you'd probably be surprised which Derek Green album is in the top 5 for me.
Right.
Anyway,
okay. Right. That's interesting
because it is one that I don't think gets a whole lot of love, but I think it's a really good album.
Is it Raw back?
No, that one's like that one's almost last.
That's a fucking great record.
That's literally when they were they were treading water so much around that time.
That when that album came out, it literally got like minimum 4 out of 5 everywhere, and everyone went, fucking hell, Sepultura are back. That was like the calling card of this lineup have finally found their feet.
But let's not forget all of the bullshit music that was happening in the same time. So of course that album stood out as something really cool. But when you're comparing Sepultura to Sepultura, it's not. They've never done a bad album in the only album that I had genuine complaints about was literally Morbid Visions, the very first one.
I think you're right. I think I can go with that. Yeah.
Yeah. But every other one, like I can put on and enjoy every other album that they've done. I just, once you're dealing with a discography like that, like where does everything go? Like that's what the stressful part in doing those sometimes is like, like the probably the most difficult one for me was when we did Black Sabbath, and we did every Black Sabbath album, so including Tony Martin and Dio and Ozzy Osbourne.
Wow.
And I was like, well, where the fuck does any of this shit go? Because you know, it's like, sure, there are classics that are classics for a reason, but there's great albums with Tony Martin as a vocalist, and he's a great vocalist. So yeah, you know, that was real stressful.
It makes me laugh when you think back to the times that when, like, you know, after Ozzy left and Dio joined, and like there was people moaning, and you just think, and you look at that now and you think, and, you know, and some people say that now is the age of entitlement, you know, I mean, some do, but you look back on that now and you think, how entitled are you? You know, one legendary iconic vocalist leaves, another legendary iconic vocalist arrives, and you're moaning.
Well, at the time, Dio had done 2 albums with Rainbow. Like, he wasn't like really well known.
Yeah, don't spoil my fucking piss taking with people back then. All right, okay, fuck those guys. All right, get some perspective. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, to be fair, it's like in any of those scenarios, you take it back in the day, like you know, Van Halen. Like nowadays, you go, well, everybody knows that Sammy Hagar is a great singer. I'm like, yeah, but he was the I Can't Drive 55 guy at that point. Like everyone was like, why are you doing this? But you know,
yeah, you know,
it made them shitloads of money. So good for them.
Sorry, I just I yanked my power cable out. Can't be doing that.
You'd be doing that in the comfort of your own home without everybody watching.
Yes, absolutely. Have you seen Metal Gods yet?
Metal Lords?
Metal Lords, that's the fucking one.
I've actually seen it twice now.
Oh, well, I'm presuming I'm presuming you had a young'un with you.
No, I watched it with my wife. It was me and my wife watching it.
What did you think?
I really liked it, even more than I thought. I knew I was going to enjoy it because it's a comedy about metal kids, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to at least enjoy this. But I left the thing really feeling like they nailed so much of like how I felt when I was a teenager. And I felt, and it was really weird for me because like normally you see movies where there's teenage characters and you're like, these don't seem like any fucking teenagers I've ever met in my entire life. But this movie, especially the main like metal kid, I'm like, I knew that kid when I was in high school. And so I just thought it was really well done. It was fun. It was a sweet movie when people were probably thinking, oh, it's going to be brutal and there's going to be, you know, potty humor all the way through it. It's going to be metal. And the fact that it wasn't that, and it was just a sweet movie about friends who were in a metal band, I'm like, that's even better. Because that's what it was for me. We weren't doing cocaine and fighting people. Like, we were pacifists and we were into metal. That's how it was. So
well, I've got to say, I just thought it was okay. I thought they nailed all the metal stuff, and she's a bassist and she's looking at buying the songbook for Justice for All. You know, very good. And there's loads of stuff in there, and there's some great cameos and all the rest of it. But the whole time I watched it, I just felt like, I'm not a child. So this isn't for me. I felt like this is a kid's movie. It's a teen movie for teens. It's not really for me. And I'm just kind of popping my nose in to see if they got everything right. And they did. Cool. And I can go about with my life.
And that's how I felt I was going to feel about it when it was over. But I actually genuinely liked it. So that, but I do like the fact that it's going to be a thing, because now that I kind of know the content of the movie, because my daughter's 11 and I do let her watch a lot of stuff that some people would say is inappropriate, but some things I go, I'm gonna watch this first. But now that I've seen it, I'm like, she would totally be into this, and I just like the idea that a movie like this comes out and maybe these younger kids, because it's literally, there's a point where there's literally a list of metal songs you should get into, and I'm all like, that to me is very cool that young people might stumble upon that movie and be all like, oh, what's this?
Well, also the nature of the film as well is, what you forget is that we're metalheads, and it's a movie for people, not just people who are into metal. So people will watch that movie who will just go, oh, like, yeah, it's supposed to kids in heavy metal band, might be quite funny. And they might come away from it going, there were some cool songs on that. Mm-hmm. Just let it play. Let's have a look who's on the soundtrack. Yeah. Or they might be, you know, shazamming the tracks while it's going, yeah, this is all right. I'm going to download this, you know. So, you know, there's that aspect as well. But and it was nice. It was also nice to hear them giving so many, you know, young bands, up and coming bands a break on the soundtrack as well. Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, Metallica, fucking Anthrax, Slayer. Who aren't even together anymore. I mean, brilliant. I mean, look, I'm moaning, but
I don't
they
know
got
if
everything right. They got everything right.
I don't know if you've noticed this though, but if you pay attention on the internets and stuff, younger people are most of the time not talking about newer bands. They're still talking about sad. All of those bands.
Yeah, again, this is sad. This is worrying. This is why thrash died first time around.
This is a good thing for bands like Acid Rain.
I'm not selfish enough. I'd rather.
I'm selfish for you. Okay.
That's very kind. But thrash metal is bigger than any one band, man, and it's definitely bigger than Acid Rain. That's for sure. And that seems like an appropriate place to leave it, folks.
Yeah.
Here's us now.
And now we're back.
Hey, how are you?
I almost feel like I shouldn't edit that part at all. It's just going to be us doing that pause and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
So yes, you saw what we chose, and our tangents in just trying to do that. Like, it's something that should be 5 minutes was, I think, 25 minutes. And so
absolutely.
It happens. So we chose our two that we chose. My choice was the band Death Decline. The album is The Silent Path from 2021. That was suggested by Beer Maniac 31 on YouTube.
And my choice was Deficiency. And the album is Warrenta. And that was sent in by, is it Stefan Blaine, who it turns out, yes, is a friend. Is we are friends on Facebook.
Cool.
But it turns out that's how it happens. That's not like you don't need to be one of our friends to submit to this section. Please do send us your ideas. Send us your ideas.
And also, it doesn't necessarily, have to be metal. Like, it can be rock music too. Because last time we talked about a rock album.
True. Yeah.
And so but it's
just not cock rock, please. Just not cock rock.
Well, maybe that'll be my choice.
Or classic heavy metal. If there's, honestly, I get emails all the time from PRs, like for the podcast. There's like Icelandic classic heavy metal band, and I just like stop reading, delete.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
No, and you know what? I've got to say this, right? Because this happened 2 days ago. I was up north, right? And I was out with a friend, and it's a beautiful sort of tourist spot. And there was these metalers sat just behind a wall, and I could just see him, and I was like, something isn't right here. Something isn't right. Okay, there's a lot of Guns N' Roses looks here amongst them, yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of sort of like, coiffured hair at the front, long at the back. Not so much like yours, not like a centre part, but more sort of like, one hairstyle here, and then almost a mullet, but not quite a mullet.
Okay.
Then there was lots of shades, bandanas.
Oh shit!
Then the 2 T-shirts that I clock are so fucking pristine, they look like they must have been ironed.
Was it Beartooth that came through on tour?
You wait. You've gone the wrong way, unfortunately.
Okay.
The T-shirts were Witchfind and Magnum. And both of those T-shirts looked absolutely brand new.
Yeah.
But these guys were in their mid to late 20s. nothing is making sense. As a, you know what it's like, as a member of the community, I'm not going to set myself up as an expert, but as a member of the heavy metal community for the last fucking 40 years.
You've put in the time. So
I've put in the time, and I can and I'm thinking, what's wrong here? You know what I mean? What is wrong? It just didn't add up. None of it added up until I overheard one of the voices. And one of the voices said, and that voice went, yeah, let's get some beer, yeah. They were German.
Okay.
They were German metalheads, where the 80s is still alive and well and doing fine, thank you. It was utterly bizarre. It really was, because it was guys who are half my age dressed how, in theory, I should be dressed.
Yeah.
It's just really weird. Anyway, complete tangent, but that's what you get with ADHD. Let's get back to where we actually were, which was your choice, mate. Okay. Death Decline.
Death Decline, The Silent Path. So you're gonna hear me say similar things about both these albums we're talking about. Only one of them I liked more than the other. Because I said it earlier. I have an issue with modern metal because there's too much patchwork going on, where there's a little bit too much, like, this bit's going to have this blast beat, this bit's going to have a death growl. Why are they there? I don't know. Doesn't serve the song at all. And so Death Decline stuff, it's like it was sold as, like, if you're a fan of old Machine Head, and I hear a little bit of that here.
Yeah, but, mainly the vocals. Let's be honest.
And by the way, both of these bands we're talking about are from France. So
that's Vive la France. Vive la France.
And but it's really well done, sort of just like, I don't know what to call it, because it's like that middle of the road heavy music where some of it's extreme, some of it's not. It's got some groovy parts, it's got some fast parts. Is it thrash? Is it not? I don't know. But the problem I have with a lot of this music is that I'm okay with, like, bringing in different elements and
but make your own sound.
Well, yeah, make your own sound. That's the thing. Yeah. I enjoyed the Deficiency album more than Death Decline, but they both have good things about them. But both of them fall into that category of, if you give me a few months and play me a song from this, I won't know what band it is. Mm-hmm. And it's because there's a whole lot of this taking these similar elements of metal and putting them together, and to where, like, it just seems like a funhouse mirror of bands that all are very similar. But at the same time, I feel like they probably think that they're injecting a lot of interesting things because they're deciding to do this one thing here, not realizing that one thing they're doing is done by a shitload of other bands randomly in a song. So my problem is that they're on Death Decline. It's good. It's a really energetic, enjoyable metal song. If you're just one of those people that just loves metal, full stop. But if you're looking for songs, there wasn't a lot to sink my teeth into for songs. So so kudos to them for just, carrying the metal torch, and that they're better than a lot of bands out there. But
yes, absolutely.
This particular album just didn't, like, leave me with anything. It was, I liked things about it, and then it was over and I went, cool. All right, what's next? And so, but thank you, Beer Maniac 31 for the suggestion. I liked things about it, just not enough things at the end of the album. So
and it was, and I'm going to be quite quick. I mean, I pretty much agree with everything you said. Although, hats off to bands trying to create a new sound by bringing all sorts of bits and pieces in from everywhere. That's cool. Mm-hmm. We're not slagging that off.
No,
but sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't quite work, and sometimes it doesn't work. And I would just say about this album that it doesn't quite work.
Yeah.
There are songs and there are parts of songs where I go, now this I can fucking do.
Yeah.
This. But then something will come along that is just like, really? Is this the same band? You thought that was a good idea? Okay, fine. That's like,
And also a big thing about, but this is once again a blanket opinion about modern metal. It seems like the idea of letting things breathe for a minute is out the fucking window. So even a part where there's some really great like open chords and a melodic vocal, there's a fucking double kick going on underneath it or something that's like, so a lot of like modern metal to me sounds like, you know, dudes that have never quite figured out how to give their woman an orgasm because they're literally just plowing ahead and they don't stop and then they're done. That's it. It doesn't matter. And so it's like, there's not enough. There's too much forward motion and not enough side to side. I need that in my music. Like you can be as aggressive as fuck, but if you're giving me like a 45, 50 hour long album, and I don't mean just throw in an interlude because fuck that. I mean, in your songwriting, like let things breathe a little bit more because that makes the heavy stuff more potent and meaningful. But it just seems like a lot of times this part's extreme, so it's going to have extreme vocals. This part's melodic, it's going to have melodic vocals or whatever. And so it just gets really, I'm really just going a long way to say the same thing I said earlier. I have a really hard time with the way that metal is used these days because it's just, there's not enough unique voices in metal. And when by voices, I don't just mean singers. I mean, overall presentation. And there's a whole lot of stuff that's fine, just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I mean, what I'd say about this is that they've, for a start, for effort, because they have tried to create something that is unique and different. My feeling was that it's a little bit, to use a phrase you said earlier, but like patchwork, as in it's like, well, we'll take that from there, 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 we'll put it all into a song, and cool, right? And for some bands that works. For some bands it doesn't, because what happens is if you take this and you take that and you take that and you take that and you turn it into you and it sounds like you and your band, that's the goal. You don't want to sound like your influences. You want to sound like a new band. That's, I've said it before, I'll say it again. That's what I didn't like about Hardwired by Metallica, because for the first time ever, you could hear their influences. The whole point about Metallica is you could never hear their influences. You heard Metallica. And that's the whole point. Take influences from everywhere you like, but you have to create a sound with those. That's the idea. And if you just end up creating songs that sound like lots of different pieces and lots of different bands and stuff like that, but then again, maybe, I don't know how deep Death Decline are into their career, but maybe, 1-2 albums down the road.
I think they have a few albums.
But okay, maybe not. So there you go.
I also feel like you and I might be in the minority in the metal world, because I think it seems like the standard is make things sound a certain way to please the metal fans. Like, I don't think a lot of modern metal fans want to have to work that hard. And so, so I think that that's the problem. And I gripe about that a lot, where I think that metal fans are making metal boring because they complain about things when they're different and praise things when they're the same. So well, they do, but by the same token, I'm not sure that's ever been any different. And there are still bands out there who do still put on huge handbrake turns and send their fans through a loop. Sure. And yes, people have more of a voice now to say they don't like what somebody's done, but they've got more of a voice to say that they do like what somebody's done. And ultimately, if a band do make a left turn and nobody goes with them, then they're going to be coming back anyway. Yeah. So it's kind of like, just go for it, and see what happens. I'm all about, I'm a proponent for the left turn. Let's do it.
Well, let's move on to our next album. Now, I chose Deficiency, and the album is Warrenta. Now, firstly, I have ordered the CD of said album. I really, really, really like this. Straight out the gate, it was sold, Stefan said it's like, technical thrash, bits of pieces in here. Straight away, as soon as you hear the guitar tone, I was like, that is a thrash metal guitar tone. right there. That fucking tone. That is how thrash metal should sound. So straight away, I'm like, that's a good sign, because that is very easy to get wrong. Now, I might sound like I'm making a big deal out of guitar tone, and there's a reason for that. And that is because when you come from a European country that isn't the UK, right? So for instance, Swedish bands have a Swedish guitar tone. I don't give a fuck who the band is. They sound like they're from Sweden.
Well, and now there's tons of American bands that have now taken that sound too.
But different European countries have different tonally different guitar tones.
Yeah.
And being a French band, it's like, okay, there was never a successful French thrash band. Fuck off, Dayton, never happened. So let's have a listen. And love the guitar tone. Love the vocals, because there's guests that have been brought onto the album who do little guest bits of vocal. Great. The main vocalist is great. He can do the whole thrash metal, but he can also his harmonies, his melodies. There are choruses that will stick in your head on this album. There's a 7-minute song. There's a 3.5-minute song. There are sections that are incredibly proggy musically, that could sound like Dream Theater or Haken, but they fit. Now, you see, the thing is, for me, every time Deficiency go, right, we are a thrash band, but let's just take some of these spices off the shelf and pop it in, and we'll take some of these herbs and we'll pop it in. For me, it works, because what they do is like, I'm listening to a thrash band and it's an unashamed thrash metal record, but there are times where you're going, this is not a thrash album. This isn't even a thrash metal song. This sounds like modern. This sounds like gent. This sounds like prog, but it kind of works, because ultimately they have got a sound. They've got a cohesive sound, and they've got they've come from we're a thrash metal band, and now we are going to just pop little bits and pieces into this. Whereas Death Decline, I kind of feel we're like, we refuse to be put in a box. We're this, we're that, we're that. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of the problem. If you've got a solid base to work from, as in we are this, and now we are going to add bits to our sound from other bits and pieces.
Yeah.
That's called evolution. And that's how you create something new. And I'm always banging on about thrash dying the first time because of its lack of evolution. Death metal didn't kill it. Thrash, turned the gun on itself because it wasn't trying to push things forward. And for me, Deficiency have created an album that is not just it's a concept album. There's phenomenal performances on it from everybody. The production is top notch and spot on. And I'm really genuinely thinking that this is probably at the moment, is going to be in my top 5 of the year.
Wow.
I'm really impressed with it, to the extent that I hadn't played it for 2 or 3 days. And I was walking around the house and I was going, what the hell is that? Oh my God. It's one of the tracks off the Deficiency album, and it's like, really? That shouldn't happen. So I'm a big fan. Big fan. You not so much.
I enjoyed it much more out of the two, because there was way more of, like you put it, parts where I go, oh, I can get down with that. There's a lot of that on this album, but it does still have a modern metal mashup kind of feel to some of it. It is a little more cohesive out of the two, but it had a lot of really great parts. I think every time a great part would happen, I would wish that there was more of them on this.
Right. Okay.
But it's definitely
what I would say. Look, sorry to jump in, but one thing I would say is that's how I felt on listens 1 and 2.
Okay.
And then 3, 4, 5, 6 is where it really comes together. Yeah. Because you know what to expect, because you know what's coming. So rather than thinking, I wish that had gone on longer, when it starts, you know how long it goes on. And it's great, but you've also 5 or 6 listens in, you also kind of like the bit that follows now as well. Okay. And the bit after that. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, yeah.
that goes into what I was saying though about having the patience for that, because it's like, so
yes,
that is definitely
fair
something.
enough.
So but I've only listened to it twice all the way through.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said. The production's great, performances are great, like this, and I think these guys are also a few albums into their career, also.
You can tell. But but the one thing I do love is that after all of this stuff that we're saying, like they pick from here and they pick from there, and it's they're doing this and they're doing that, and the second song, Dichotomy, has got such a cool little Megadeth-y chorus, and he just totally Dave Mustaine's his voice.
Yeah,
and I just smiled when I heard it, because I was like, do you know what? That is guys who absolutely totally get and understand thrash metal, and singer's gone in and done this, and they've all gone like, that's so fucking cool. It's the Megadeth chorus. It's the Megadeth tribute,
Yeah,
and it's unashamed, because they don't give a fuck, because they're deep in, a little bit deeper into their career. They know what they're doing. Clearly, they know what they're doing. I mean, I honestly, I think with some more listening, this could even end up being my album of the year. I'm that impressed. I'm that impressed with it, because it's there's all sorts on it. And in fact, on the monthly Patreon only Radio Bollocks show, I'm playing a couple of tracks off it, because one ain't enough. Because I played one and I'm like, it's unfair to just play you one, because that's a cool song, but it's not representative of the album. But there is no one song that's representative of the album, because it really does like go on a journey. And those guests as well, bringing in different voices, lending it, more dynamically, it's spot on as well. I mean, I'm sure I'll find things about it that I don't like eventually, but right now I'm in that first flush of love. I just think it's a great album.
So if anybody's keeping score, the only wholly positive response to any of the albums we've been suggested has been from Howard H. Smith. Just want everyone to remember that.
I know. I mean, I admittedly savaged a couple of bands early doors, but I mean, just thank you, Stefan. In fact, I have actually messaged him on Facebook and said, really enjoying Deficiency, and he was like, oh yeah, cool, really glad you like it. Did you pick it? And he was like, no, don't tell me, I want to find out when the show comes out. So now you know, Stefan. Yes, I did pick it. Thank you. It's fucking brilliant. Best metal band I've heard from France ever, hands down. But to be fair, that's a low bar, but still, yeah. I'd rather listen to Deficiency's album 50 times than Anthrax play Antisocial once.
Oh, well,
so
they've played it enough. But those of you who are still with us, take all of these things we've said into account when you suggest albums, because I think we've made it very clear, like the things that excite us and don't. And
but also I think it's important to mention as well that don't come at it with an agenda. For instance, if you're like, hooked up with the bands on social media or something like that. Don't try and like, oh, they'll definitely pick this. Oh, because all that'll happen is you'll be upset when we don't and have a tantrum. So, it ain't worth it.
Or we don't like it. So,
or we make our decisions the way we make our decisions, the way our brains work. Yeah. And that's how it goes. So I don't even know what I'm going to pick or what I'm going to like. So just pick an album, send it in. And if we get to it, we get to it. And hopefully we'll like it, or we'll absolutely shit on it.
It's possible. Yeah.
I mean,
there was none of that today. There was nothing was totally negative about these two.
No, I'm chuffed.
Yeah. So, well, there you go. That was our, I don't even know what we call that section now. The user suggestions. That sounds really boring, but whatever.
I don't know.
Why did I say user? Like we have users. That was really weird. A really strange choice of words.
Yeah. Hey, listeners and viewers. He thinks you're a bunch of users. You said that, not me. But no, I like I said, loving that album. So thank you very much, Stefan. And to be fair, I did give Death Decline a few spins. I say spins. I mean, why do I even say that? I've got a fucking digital version of the album. I mean, I'm not going to you don't spin the album, do you? You just listen to it. So anyway,
I mean, I still call things records when I'm not even referring to vinyl. I'll just that new record by this band. It's just because it's just still in my brain. That's what you called it when they came out. It's the new record. So
I guess so. So, but yeah, it just didn't really light my fire. But I think we're out of gas, aren't we? That's pretty much us.
Our work here is done.
Our work here is done.
So go to the links I have on YouTube for Howard's Patreon and join that, because there's a lot of cool shit. He even does, for those of you like, he does stuff like the radio show, but he recently posted an old recording of an old Acid Rain show, and that's, I mean, for me, like that's why I'm there.
Yeah. But there is. Did you see today's that's gone up?
No, I have not yet.
Right. Okay. Well, there's another old show gone up today.
Oh, cool.
And it's a Birmingham show that Big Mick did the sound for.
Oh, cool. That's great.
So it finishes with a Metallica cover.
Nice. That the last one you posted, I enjoyed it, but I'm like, I've never heard bass guitar that loud. Like the bass guitar is so loud.
Yeah, it was because it was straight from the desk, and sometimes that's what happens. But yeah.
Anyway,
well, look, yeah. Anyway, my Patreon, sign up, you bastards.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this as a podcast, go follow Old Head on YouTube and his other socials.
Yeah, so, and reach out to us on all channels, because we're not hard to find, and tell us albums that we've missed over the years, gems that should have made bands huge, or it could have come out last week. Just send it over.
Perfect.
All
right. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, see you later, everyone. Thanks for joining us. He was him, I was me. We'll be back sometime doing this again. See ya.